Have you ever wondered how Amazon is able to provide so many products so inexpensively and so quickly? In this video, I'm going to dive into the inner workings of how Amazon does it and how it works behind the scenes. My name is Eric Kimberling. I'm the CEO of Third Stage Consulting. We're an independent and tech-agnostic consulting firm that helps businesses throughout the world with their technology initiatives. And one of the common things we help clients with is supply chain management. We help them automate their supply chains, improve their supply chains, and be more effective. And one of the gold standards or case studies that are worth looking into is Amazon. Amazon is a highly scalable organization. They've grown massively over the last couple of decades, and they really have set the standard for how supply chain management could or should look. So what I want to do today is talk a bit about Amazon, the scale and breadth of Amazon, and the inner workings of how they use effective supply chain management and technology to make their operations so efficient and so effective. Now, if you'd like to learn more about supply chain management, how supply chains work, how technology is enabling better supply chain management, be sure to download our guide to effective supply chain management. You can find that for free on our website by scanning the QR code right here, or you can go to the links below. Before we dive into the specifics of how the supply chain works at Amazon, let's talk about the general summary level scale and breadth of their supply chain. If you look behind me, this is one of thousands of distribution centers that Amazon has throughout the world. This particular one is just outside of Denver, Colorado, near the Third Stage Consulting offices in the United States. And this warehouse right here is close to 1 million square feet. It's multi-level, and this warehouse contains hundreds of thousands of individual different products that can be shipped within the surrounding Denver area. Now, if we look more globally at Amazon, it's obviously much bigger than that. There are over 1,200 distribution centers just like this throughout the world. They ship over 17 million packages a day throughout the world. They have 390,000 drivers that drive those little Amazon vans and cars throughout the city and throughout cities throughout the world. And Amazon deploys over 1 million robots at distribution centers just like this one. So that's an overview of Amazon as a whole in this individual distribution center. What I want to do now is talk about how the operations work. When you go online and place an order for Amazon, things magically appear the next day or sometimes maybe just within a couple days. But how exactly does Amazon do it? How do they get the inventory into this warehouse, and how do they get it to your house so quickly? That's what we're going to talk about throughout the rest of this video. So let's talk about how individual distribution centers like this one at Amazon can deliver so quickly and get products to you so quickly and so cheaply. Well, first of all, it starts with inventory management. They have to have the right inventory in this warehouse for citizens in this region in order to get the product to them as quickly as they promise and as quickly as they deliver. Now, how do they do that? Well, first of all, they use technology to anticipate when and where spikes in demand are going to occur. Not only do they have a massive distribution center here that's close to 1 million square feet and contains hundreds of thousands of individual products, but they also have to know which of those hundreds of thousands of products do they need at any given time. And they use artificial intelligence to predict demand amongst customers in this region to figure out what they need to stock in this warehouse. And a couple of really interesting things and aspects of this particular distribution center and Amazon as a whole is that they do a couple things very uniquely. One is something called cross-docking, which other companies do, but Amazon takes it to a whole nother level. And cross-docking is essentially when a product comes in this warehouse, if a semi brings the product over to come into the warehouse, instead of stocking it on shelves, they'll oftentimes just take it straight off the semi and put it onto a delivery truck. And if you look over here, you can see a bunch of delivery trucks, Amazon delivery trucks that are parked here just ready to load up inventory and take it to customers throughout the region. So the cross-docking is something that allows you to have more of a just-in-time inventory approach and get stuff off the semi-trailer and to the customer as quickly as possible. The other interesting thing that they do that they have sort of pioneered here in the supply chain space is they use something called chaotic storage. Now, chaotic may sound like a bad thing. It may sound like something you don't want to do, but in the case of Amazon, it works really well because they use technology in such a unique way. And what chaotic storage is when inventory comes into the warehouse, if it's not going to be cross-docked and shipped out right away and it needs to sit on a shelf for some period of time, even if for a short period of time, computers will tell Amazon employees where to put it based on availability, and it doesn't necessarily have any structure to where the product needs to go. It'll just find the closest available spot, where it's going to fit, and it's going to be based on how quickly they think that inventory will move back out of the warehouse. So in the past, just to contrast what has historically happened, organizations would have specific inventory locations and bin numbers on the shelves throughout the warehouse. And the computer would tell people how to pick, pack, and ship and how to go find the inventory out on the warehouse floor. Now with robots handling a lot of that, the robot doesn't care how easy it is to go get the inventory. They just need to know where to get it from. The robot will go get it and bring it out to be packed and shipped for delivery. So that's some of the unique aspects of how the inventory gets here to the warehouse. So now let's talk about how this affects you when you're going to place an order from the Amazon website. So once Amazon has inventory in stock in the distribution center like it does here, the question becomes, how do they ship the product? Well, of course, they need to get a customer order. So when you go on the Amazon website, if you're in this region where I am right now, sitting in front of this warehouse or anywhere near this warehouse, you might place an order for some product. So what happens then is the website where you place the order on Amazon.com will send a order to the warehouse here to be picked, packed, and shipped and be sent to you. So here's where the order comes in. The robots, which there are thousands of robots in this facility right here, will go get the inventory off the shelf, and it'll take it to the appropriate docking location where the little Amazon vans are sitting, and someone will load that onto the truck, and then the truck will go out and ship it to the end customer. And I'll talk about how the trucks get managed here in just a moment as well. Now, another interesting thing about Amazon's e-commerce capabilities is that they've really pioneered the philosophy of using artificial intelligence to anticipate what you might buy and to cross-sell you other products. So based on your purchase history, based on what other people have bought, based on what you're buying, they'll make recommendations of things that they think you're going to like. And that's why Amazon is so good at putting things in front of you when you're on the website before you check out, trying to get you to buy other stuff. And they base that largely on what they think you're going to buy. They base it on what they know they have in stock here. And they based it on the propensity of your likelihood of buying that product. So this is the front end of the entire supply chain. Once the products are in the warehouse, is now you place the order, we deliver it from the warehouse, and now we're going to talk about how it gets from the warehouse to you, the end customer. So once the order is placed, now we're going back into warehouse management. Now we go look at what's in the warehouse. Computers will tell robots where the inventory is in the warehouse, and the robot will go get the inventory. It'll bring it to a packing area where AI figures out the best way to package the products that you've ordered. It'll custom create that package just for you, and then it'll deliver it to the docking area where a truck will pick that box up and then ultimately take it to your location, your home, or your place of business. Now, I mentioned before how important robots are to the operations here, and actually a client of ours in the past was called Kiva Systems, and they actually created all the robots that Amazon uses. And again, there's over 1 million robots used at distribution centers throughout the world. And Kiva Systems is a big deal because Amazon actually ended up buying that company and making it part of Amazon. So Amazon now controls and owns the robots that were once created by a third party. And now it's called Amazon Robotics. And now they sell those robots to other companies as well. So fun little fact about Amazon Robotics and the connection that we have with that company. And it's predicted that within the next few years, robots will outnumber the number of employees in Amazon. I mentioned before that there's hundreds of thousands of delivery drivers, but there's over 1 million robots throughout the world. So already the robots are outnumbering the drivers, but Amazon has a lot more employees than just drivers. So it's predicted that eventually robots will outnumber employees. So that robotic and AI strategy is a key part of fulfilling orders to make sure you get the product you need when you need it. The final step in the process of placing an order through Amazon and actually getting the order is now we've fulfilled the order. The order is sitting on a truck to be driven to your place of business. And of course, that truck is not just delivering to you, it's delivering to dozens, if not hundreds of other people in a given day. And route management becomes very important. And this, again, is where technology and AI comes into play. So what technology and AI does here is it will find the optimal route for each driver, so that each driver has a certain area they're going to go to. It goes so far as to tell them which turns to take, which side of the road they should be on so they can make the quickest exit and entry back into their truck. And they plan everything down to the minute detail of how the inventory is delivered to you. In addition to that, it's not just technology, it's also organizational and management as well. So the drivers here actually have a lot of pressure to deliver a certain number of packages a day. And if they can't deliver quick enough, they end up not keeping their jobs. They end up getting fired. So Amazon actually places a lot of pressure on delivery drivers to hit certain quotas and metrics. And that's the way they're able to reach such scale and deliver to you at such a low price. And then the other thing they do that's really interesting from a logistics perspective is these delivery vans are also managed very carefully. So technology will help with maintenance, repair, and ensuring that the trucks can stay running. So they get a lot of miles on these trucks, they break down, it needs maintenance every so often, and technology will tell people here when it needs to be maintained or repaired or replaced. So that's another fun fact about how technology is managing some of the minute details of how the entire supply chain works here at Amazon. So I hope this has provided a picture of how Amazon works, how the supply chain works here at Amazon, and hopefully it provides you some ideas of how you might apply that to your organization. And if you'd like to learn more about supply chain management best practices, how they work, and how technology is transforming supply chains throughout the world, be sure to download our Guide to Supply Chain Management. You can find that by scanning the QR code right here, or you can go to the links below. So I hope you found this information useful, and hope you have a great day.